Chichi was a 19-year-old Igbo girl with a very bright smile. Her skin glowed like morning sun and her eyes were full of dreams. From the time she was a little child in primary school, she always told her friends, "One day, I will have my own shop." The other children would laugh at her because they thought it was a joke. But Chichi was not joking. Inside her small heart, the dream was burning like fire. Her parents were not rich. Her father was a farmer, and her mother sold fruits in the village market. Sometimes, they found it hard to even buy enough food. So when Chichi said she wanted to open a shop, people would shake their head. Where will she see money? They would ask. But Chichi had something that many others didn't have.
African Tales by Adugo.
Hello everyone, my name is Adugo and you are watching the African Tales channel by Adugo. Please kindly click on that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so you will be notified whenever I upload a new video. Now let's get into the story. Chichi had something that many others didn't have. Patience. She began saving small coins one after another. Every time her mother sent her to the market and she was given change, she would secretly put some aside. When her aunties gave her gifts during Christmas, she would hide the money in a small iron box she kept under her bed. By the time she turned 19, her box was full. Her hands were shaking with joy the day she carried it to a carpenter and asked him to make her a signboard. Chichi's Beauty Wigs. The shop was not in a fancy place. It was in a quiet corner of Enugu community, in a hidden part of the village. People said, "Nobody will come here to buy wig. She is wasting her time." But Chichi was not afraid. She decorated her small shop with pink curtains and arranged her wigs carefully on the shelf. Long wigs, coily wigs, braided extensions, and other beautiful things that made women smile. Something strange happened. Even though her shop was in a hidden corner, women from faraway towns began to hear about her. Some said her wigs were stronger than others. Some said when you wore them, you looked more beautiful than you had ever looked before. Rumors began to spread. There is something special about Chichi's shop. Soon, cars began to park near her shop. Women with money came down and walked in with excitement. They left smiling, carrying big nylon bags full of wigs. The villagers watched in surprise. How can this girl, who comes from a poor home, be selling like this? They whispered. What secret is behind her success? Some people said Chichi was just lucky. Others said she was using charms. Envy began to grow in the hearts of some villagers. They could not believe a poor girl's business was shining brighter than theirs. Chichi smiled at everyone, but deep down, she felt the eyes of jealousy watching her every move. She did not know that her flourishing shop was about to bring trouble she had never expected. Chichi woke up one morning and found something strange at the front of her shop. A red feather tied with a black thread was lying at her doorstep. Her heart skipped. She had heard old women whispering about such things, signs of juju. She bent down slowly, her hands trembling, and picked it up. She wanted to throw it away, but her mother's warning voice came into her head. When you see strange things, don't touch them. Quickly, she dropped it and stepped back. Her neighbors came and gathered. "Chichi, who is fighting you?" One of them asked. "Did you quarrel with anyone?" Chichi shook her head. She had no quarrel with anybody. She sold her wigs, collected her money, and went home. But it was clear that someone did not want her to succeed. That night, she could not sleep. She kept turning on her small bed, wondering who her enemy was. Was it Mama Nkechi, the woman who also sold wigs in the bigger markets but never got as many customers? Was it the men who owned big shops but could not understand why women preferred Chichi's little corner? The next morning, when she opened her shop, something even more shocking happened. A woman she had never seen before walked in. She was tall, with eyes that looked like they were hiding secrets. She smiled, but her smile was cold. "Are you Chichi?" she asked softly. "Yes," Chichi answered, her voice low. The woman looked around the shop, then picked one wig and placed it on her head. She turned to the mirror, adjusted it and laughed. "You are lucky, my dear, but luck does not last forever. Be careful." Before Chichi could reply, The woman dropped money on the table and walked out. Chichi's hands shook as she picked the money. Her heart was beating fast. Who was this woman? Why did her words sound like a warning or a threat? The villagers had started talking louder. Some said Chichi's shop was blessed by God. Others swore she had gone to a native doctor. Whispers followed her everywhere she went, and in the middle of it all, Chichi was only a 19-year-old girl who wanted to make wigs and live her dream. But her dream was now surrounded by shadows she did not understand. That night, Chichi could not rest. She lay awake, staring at the ceiling. The woman's words echoed in her head. Luck does not last forever. Be careful. Who was she? Why did she speak like that? The way her eyes shone when she looked into the mirror made Chichi's skin crawl. She had heard stories of women who were not ordinary. Women who walked with powers from the dark world. Could that woman be one of them? The next day, when Chichi opened her shop, she met a crowd waiting. Women from neighboring towns had lined up, eager to buy. Their chatter filled the air. Their laughter rang like bells. But even in the middle of the noise, Chichi felt uneasy. Her eyes kept moving to the door, waiting, fearing that the tall woman would return. By evening, when the last customer left, Chichi locked the door and sank into a chair. Her heart was heavy. She knew she could not keep this to herself. She needed to tell her mother. At home, her mother listened quietly as Chichi explained everything. The strange feather, the whispers in the village, the woman's cold smile. Her mother's face grew serious. My daughter, she said softly, success is sweet, but it attracts enemies. You must be wise. Some people do not like light. They prefer darkness. But remember, God is bigger than all of them. Her mother prayed with her that night, her hands trembling as she laid them on Chichi's head. But even after the prayer, Chichi still felt a cold shadow following her. The next week, another strange thing happened. One morning, when she entered her shop, she found all the wigs on the floor. The shelves were empty, the hangers broken, the curtains torn. Yet, her door was still locked from the outside. How? She whispered, her heart pounding. How did this happen? The villagers gathered quickly. Some shook their heads, pitying her. Others whispered with sly smile. We told you, no business can grow like that without charm. Maybe the spirits have come to take their share. Chichi's eyes filled with tears. She had worked so hard, saved every coin and built her dream. Now it was crumbling before her eyes. That evening, when she tried to arrange the wigs back on the shelves, she noticed something strange.